AskReddit. What's the worst legal thing you can do? You can spray tan a baby, totally legal. Develop a wonderful loving relationship with someone for a majority of your life. Kids, pets, trust, everything included. One day, tell them all you never loved them, it was all a game you were playing for the last 20 years. Divorce your partner and leave with a stash of cash you've been putting away for the last 20 years, moving to a new country never to see them again. Murder someone in that one corner of Yellowstone National Park. Bake cookies, but with chewing gum in them. Recruit people to join Scientology. Sue your poor ex-spouse for child custody so repeatedly that you drain their finances and can't fight it anymore. Giving out someone's number or email for spam. Have kids you don't want. The act of cannibalism itself is legal in most nations. It's just getting the meat that is usually illegal. Edit. To add to this, I've considered the aspects of cooking human meat a little deeper, and come up with this. You're all very dark, lol. I love it. Human meat is very close to pork. So lightly seasoned and glazed with something sweet like honey, plum sauce, apple sauce or maple syrup. You would have to cook it very well, and make sure to properly sear it, and cook it relatively quickly as human meat is around 7% fat, so quite lean for red meat. Since human skin is quite thin, you could easily make crackling with it, so that would be something to watch out for. The legs especially would make for good long cooking techniques, with the thighs being good for a quick roast and the calves being better for braising or stewing. The muscles of the back could make good grilling, with the lumbar multifigures being somewhat akin to filet mignon. The arms, in general, would be good for general-purpose meats, along with the abdominals, though, the latter would need to be cooked far longer. The shoulders would be particularly fatty cuts prime for stewing or braising. As for the glutes, being some of the most used muscles in the body, they would be ideal for barbecue or making jerky with. Have a child. Never bring him out in public. Only take photos of him beside a mocked-up meteor crash. Let him find the pics when he's 13. A parent keeping their kid from the other parent when there's no good reason to and leveraging the courts to do it. There was a guy a while back who took a photo up a 13-year-old girl's skirt. The judge had some choice words to say, but the guy got let go because, technically, it wasn't illegal. Edit. My autocorrect is bad. Edit 2. So this is what a karma bomb overnight feels like. This happened to me in Uruguay. But I've been told a similar tactic works in the US. Suppose I'm evil. And I have money. Not a huge amount of money. But a healthy 6-digit number in the bank. And I see someone else. This someone else maybe doesn't make a lot. Maybe he has a lot of kids. Maybe it's a recession and he's having a hard time finding enough work. Who knows? But he's barely making it. Paycheck to paycheck. But he has something of value. He owns his family farm outright. And it's worth a small 6-digit number. But he relies on this farm mainly to provide a rent-free place to live. If he had to pay rent for a place to live, he wouldn't be anywhere close to making it. So I'm wealthy and evil. I contact my lawyer and say, hey, I know this guy. He doesn't have any money. But he has this property. Let's sue him. He'll be required to immediately come up with cash in the sum of 10% of the value of the lawsuit in order to defend himself. His property is worth $100,000. So we'll make up some crazy excuse to sue him for $100,000. He won't be able to come up with the $10,000. So we'll win by a default. And we'll force the sale of his property. Then you get 20%. So the lawyer sues on contingency. In other words, the wealthy person doesn't have to pay anything to do this. In order to improve the odds, I bribe/convince a judge to include non-standard language in the official notification of the lawsuit. If the guy doesn't reply within 10 days, he loses by default. Then we throw the paperwork in the dirt in front of the house and hope no one finds it before it's too late. I was the poor guy. The legal document sat in the mud in front of our house for a week before anyone saw it. I managed to come up with the $10,000 and file a response the day before the 10-day deadline. The lawsuit took more than 2 years to complete. I won. But it still cost me $25,000 to defend myself. And the evil guy? It was a 70-year-old grandma-type friend that we had trusted and considered to be a part of our family. Ruin the world economy by handing out subprime loans, become a politician and raise my pay while creating taxes I'm coincidentally exempt from. All the shit that the Westboro Baptist Church does, put a fake X on an ad. Edit. My stupid ass just realized after checking the replies that I spelled dad wrong. BTW, thanks for that Diamond Award. Fire all your employees and move your business to East Asia so you can essentially use slave labor. Cheating on your boy/girlfriend is generally regarded as pretty bad, but it's not illegal. Listening to music and or talking on the phone with volume up in public with no headphones. Allow your brother-in-law to marry your 14-year-old daughter when she becomes pregnant with his kid. Edit. Here is a link to the story. Some URL. Put your dog down because it's inconvenient, standing idly and filming people who desperately need help, instead of helping. Like those kids that filmed and laughed as a disabled guy drowned and died. Schedule people to work 39.5 hours a week. Not vaccinating your kids. You can leak the names, addresses, email addresses, social security numbers, driver's license numbers, and payment card details of nearly half of all Americans, and more than half of all American adults, and then settle for about $5/person. Hold Equifax accountable. Yo! Fuck your best friend's wife. Steal people's money through fine print conditions. Is it illegal to leave your shopping cart in the parking lot instead of returning it to the corral? If not, that. Marrying someone you don't love. Imagine finding the love of your life, getting married and maybe even having kids, and then they tell you they never loved you, and you built your whole life around them for nothing. Stare. Just stare at people. People don't even attempt to confront you. Smoke in the same house that your children live in, forcing them to inhale toxic chemicals that damage their bodies. Claim that access to water isn't a human right and then forcing people in third world countries to buy your shitty products at exorbitant prices because there's no alternative. Hang around a college campus holding a sign that calls them sluts and shouting about how they're all going to hell. Ask people for credit card details in the street for donations to charity. Murdering or raping someone but it's legal because you have diplomatic immunity. Leave your own cat somewhere on the road, far away from home, without food? Edit. It's illegal only on paper. Cops will rarely do anything about animal neglect, at least in my country. Bully someone. Mentally abuse someone. Making them feel bad about themselves their whole life. Knowingly give someone an STD. Hike the prices up on insulin, out of a member's affordable range. Alternatively, just decide to take it off of your formulary list with no clear reason. Protesting and insulting somebody who sacrificed their life in the military at their funeral. Regardless of your stance on the military, that's pretty fucking bad. Put down a healthy dog because you don't want them. Politicians can harm millions of people by actions that are considered legal by those who have the power to condemn them. Nestle claiming rights to water and then selling it back to the public at exorbitant prices, all while polluting the earth with the production of single-use plastic bottles. Start a pharmaceutical company. Develop a drug that people need to live. Raise the price just because you know they'll pay for it if they don't want to die. Marrying someone, having kids with them, and then divorcing with the sole purpose of making them pay child support. Mobile app scams. Permanently destroying huge swaths of land. There's a development corporation in my hometown that has bought up virtually all of the remaining woods, meadows and wetlands in the area, paved them, and built retail spaces that go vacant just a few months later. Businesses aren't even moving into these office parks, but the group just keeps spreading out and developing. It seems like every month, I drive past another leveled tract of land. I was at a party where this happened. The guy actually had to move out of town because he was soon known by everyone for his actions. To start off, it was a fairly moderate house party. Not much drinking was involved and no drugs whatsoever. It was chill and everyone had a good time. So this other dude showed up and he was that typical slender pale creepy nerd type of guy. Everyone was having fun, making friends and chatting, but this dude just stands in the corner and looks at people. I try to be nice and bring him in on the conversation, but instead he starts to awkwardly hit on one of the girls I was with that evening. She was visibly distressed and gave him a harsh answer which he didn't take very well. So he got angry and stormed off. Everyone was happy that this guy left, but as it turns out he called the police and told them that we were dealing drugs and that minors were given access to hard alcohol. Nobody got arrested as his claims were obviously wrong, but it still killed the mood. We only found out that it was actually him because for a few days after, he bragged about it online and someone noticed. Take custody of a pet in a divorce and put the pet down out of spite, removed. I was wondering what if I do something different today, so I poured milk then cereal. Worst decision in my life. Mow your lawn at 3 a.m. Put your dollar in an offshore account so you can avoid paying billions in taxes. Then complain that the lower classes are mooching off your money. Farting in an elevator. Groom your stepdaughter for over a decade, then when she's 18, divorce her mom and hook up with your stepdaughter. I think it's pretty shitty to claim bodily harm from a very minor car accident just to get $10K, and make the other person pay more for their car insurance. I'm looking at you, lady. I hate going 3 miles per hour. Probably not the worst thing, but it's pretty bad. An English man can shoot a Scottish man in York with a bow and arrow on any day of the week except Sunday. And #X200B. Some URL. Number 3. Sneeze in someone's mouth. Not vaccinating your children/pets. Vaccinating is only mandatory in 15 countries in Europe, and not against all diseases. Get pierced ears to your baby who can even talk. Buy a building as a landlord and kick a family business out for selfish and greedy motivation. And then steal that family business's original idea and watch them struggle after the unexpected loss of their business. Thankfully the fucker sucked at running a business and didn't even last a year before closing the doors. Ask someone who Joe is, selling homeopathic meds, convincing your husband that your child is his, and watching him spend 18 years of his life in love with and raising it. Actually boils my blood just typing that out. Honestly, break the trust of someone who loves you unconditionally. Be a woman, have oral sex with a man, use his semen for AI without telling him, then force him to pay child support 5 years later. Some URL. People who protest outside of Planned Parenthood, taking away an innocent life because it interferes with your life plans. Vote for a Democrat. Abortion, deleted. abortbaby. Invade a sovereign country which never did anything to USA or its people. Kill 500,000 innocent civilians by direct actions of U.S. Army, resulting destability, famine and starvation. Fat profit for each and every industrial weapons companies buy war profiteering. Put puppet government friendly to U.S. Cover up drone attacks on children's schools and hospitals and war crimes committed by U.S. soldiers. Propaganda that the real victims somehow are U.S. soldiers, who invaded other country, from the effects of war. President Bush and his ilk can lie, hoodwink and play with patriotic feelings of entire country to justify invasion and somehow get away without any consequences or investigation for being a war criminals. If this same act was done by some other country like Middle Eastern country or Russia, then the whole world would trial that government for war crimes. Sadly this was done by US, so it's swept under the rug, cause why not? We are the good guys, am I right? Have $1 billion. There's no way to morally acquire it. It means there's thousands, tens of thousands of people working under you for less than they need to live. There's no way to morally keep it. Bill Gates could end US homelessness with pocket change. There's no way to morally spend it. You don't need 5 houses and a yacht. It's excessive. You just sit on a huge pile of cash, getting rich off other people's hard work, make the world a worse place, moralize about how you want to save it, donate the moral equivalent of $10 for a bunch of good PR about how you're a philanthropist, and never, ever lift a finger to do things that are easily within your power that could relieve untold suffering for millions. It's pretty bad tbh. Be Jeff Bezos and not solve world hunger. Hurt and kill sentient beings for mouth pleasure. Gestate a baby for months only to have it stabbed and ripped to death in the womb, vacuumed out like trash, then have its organs parted out to research labs like it was a used car being scrapped at a junkyard, all to spite your ex who broke up with you for being a drunk slut and cheating with other men. Oh, you still need that alimony though. You so fierce squirrel. Abortion, throw immigrant children in cages away from their parents, deleted. Join PETA, have an abortion. Abortion, abortion, just look up any big corporation, they'll know. Make billions, utilize all legal avenues to ensure I pay as little tax as I can, then use that money to pay government officials to make sure I make more and keep more of that money while making it more difficult for the people with less money to do anything about it, and often at their indirect expense. Vote for Hillary. Have an abortion. Abort a baby, get pregnant and kill the baby because you don't want to remain a mother. Pay someone minimum wage and not provide proper health care. Abortion, stare at a person's forehead while speaking to them. Or opening your eyes while you kiss someone. Global warming, everything is legal until you get caught. Have an abortion. It's legal, though the concept of snatching away a potential life is pretty dark. just an opinion. Apparently it's asking a foreign country to deduct dirt on your political rival. Being conservative, nowadays that's a crime, while the real criminal liberals accuses you of the crimes they're actually committing. Number 1, telling people there's a God. Number 2, pretending to know what this deity wants, making people follow some fictional narrative. Travel to a third world countries to have sex with children. You may know someone who's done it, it's so common. If I hear of any single men traveling to the Philippines or Thailand or the Dominican, I just assume their vacation is sex tourism. Those anti-abortion protesters. Total scum, buy and gain control of medicine companies via the stock market and then raise the prices off the company's patented medicine by more than 1000%. Only works on medicine where people will die if they don't take it. Deleted. Breed animals, keep them in cages 24/7. Treat them as commodities, and then eventually slit their throats and eat their corpses and bodily fluids. Procreating, be illiberal. Late abortions, don't give food to a starving child. Deny people health care. This is off topic, but hello person in the comments. Did you know that in France it is illegal to fart on a Thursday after 6 o'clock in public? Buy animal products. Eating animals or animal products. Continue to support Trump after everything he's done. Drive below the speed limit. Vote Democrat. Have an abortion. Kill people for stepping on your lawn. Abortion. You can kill or pay for someone to kill certain species of sentient beings with complex emotional abilities and self-awareness with the intention of consuming them for pleasure without any legal consequences. Vote for Trump. Have an abortion. Make a huge saliva and snot mix and spit over your own face and stand in a crowded metro bumping into an old lady with your snot-covered face, leaving your trail of dominance. Vote for Trump.